Rome did not begin as an empire. It began as a fragile settlement of timber huts, smoke, mud, and ambition beside the Tiber River. No marble capital yet existed. Rome was still a vulnerable hill settlement. Its people were farmers, herders, fugitives, warriors, and families drawn together by the promise of protection and land. Loyalty remained personal, and political identity was only beginning to form. The city's first king, Romulus, had given this community a name, an army, a senate, and a powerful founding legend. Later, Romans treated these institutions as the roots of their public order, but the Rome he ruled was still vulnerable. Rival communities watched from the surrounding hills, and every harvest depended on uncertain weather. One failed harvest or enemy raid could endanger the entire community. Romulus organized fighting men into disciplined groups and bound leading families to the new state through the Senate. Those who defended Rome also expected status and influence within it. These institutions were remembered by later Romans as the foundations of their political and military order. The tradition shows how Romans later explained their own institutions. Yet ancient accounts mix memory with myth. The farther we move toward Rome's beginnings, the harder it becomes to separate history from legend. These stories were written centuries later from memory, ritual, and legend. One tradition claimed that Romulus vanished during a violent storm while reviewing his people on the Ancus Marcius. The storm made his disappearance appear either divine or deeply suspicious. When the darkness lifted, the king was gone. Some said the gods had carried him into the heavens. Romulus was later honored as Carinus, a guardian of the Roman people. Others whispered a darker explanation, that powerful senators had killed him and concealed the evidence. The rumor exposed Roman fears about secret violence among powerful elites. Whatever happened, Rome suddenly had no king. The throne stood empty, and the unity created by Romulus began to strain. War, justice, religion, and diplomacy now lacked a recognized authority. Roman and Sabine families distrusted one another. Each feared that the other would seize permanent control. The rivalry concerned honor, status, and the right to command the city. According to later tradition, senators governed in rotation during an interregnum, each holding royal authority only briefly. Rotating authority preserved continuity, while a permanent ruler was sought. This arrangement prevented one faction from dominating, but it could not provide the stability the young city needed. Each delay revealed how much the city still depended on one leader. Rome required a ruler who could command respect without reopening the conflict between its Roman and Sabine communities. The next king had to be powerful, respected, and acceptable to both sides. Their search turned northeast, toward the Sabine town of Curies, and a man remembered for wisdom rather than conquest. Choosing a Sabine promised balance and reduced fears of Roman domination. His name was Numa Pompilius. Tradition described him as calm, disciplined, deeply religious, and reluctant to seek power. His authority was said to come from judgment, character, and reverence. The contrast with Romulus could not have been sharper. Rome's founder embodied war, courage, expansion, and force. In memory, Romulus built Rome's body, while Numa shaped its civic soul. Numa represented restraint, law, ritual, and the belief that a city could be strengthened without constant bloodshed. Peace meant replacing private revenge with shared rules and institutions. When Roman envoys offered him the throne, ancient writers said he first refused. His reluctance suggested that he sought duty rather than personal power. He questioned whether a peaceful man belonged in a city shaped by warriors and surrounded by enemies. The crown meant responsibility for a divided and still vulnerable people. His family and the Roman delegation urged him to accept, arguing that Rome needed precisely the qualities he possessed. His supporters argued that restraint was precisely what Rome now needed. At last he agreed to travel to Rome, but he would not rule merely because senators had selected him. He accepted the throne as a public obligation, rather than a private prize. Tradition says he sought divine approval through augury, asking whether the gods accepted him as king. Augury implied that legitimate power required both human and divine consent. With the signs declared favorable, Numa Pompilius became Rome's second king. The age of the warrior founder had ended. A new experiment was beginning. Could religion, law, and shared ritual transform a violent settlement into a lasting state? His reign would test whether law and ritual could make the city endure.